Hi, this is Cheryl Peterson with the Community of Christ Scientists. What is Christian Science mental treatment? First, let's define Christian Science in the context of the question. Christian Science is the law of God, interpreting goodness to us and the universe. Christian Science is the liberating force of truth, explaining a life worth living in perpetuity. Christian Science is the healing power of love, manifesting intelligence. The marks of Christian Science can be traced throughout human history, in the actions and thoughts of the prophets, Christ Jesus, and a lot of other great and ordinary people who let their spirituality guide their humanity. I have found that Christian Science as a study helps remove the mystery that's too often attached to the power of God and God's creation. Now, what is Christian Science mental treatment? It could be seen as a mindful action, mind management, medicine of the mind, mental health care, and so on. To my understanding, Christian Science mental treatment deals with the spiritual realm, yet it naturally includes the physical realm, so to speak. How? How does the mental and physical connect? The answer to this question was best expressed to me by Mary Baker Eddy, a 19th century woman who wrote in Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures about her theory that the human mind and body are one and the same thing, incapable of resolving its own problems. That theory leaves me with the need for a higher power, which I'm fine about because I've learned that my mind doesn't always make the best decisions, and my body sometimes makes terrible decisions. So, what kind of higher power do I seek? This was answered for me in the Bible, from the Gospel of Matthew. The Pharisees said of Christ Jesus, "It is only by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, that this fellow drives out demons." And Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, "Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand." Those words are thought-provoking. Because the human mind and body can act separately, like when my mind says, "Don't eat more chocolate cake," but my mouth eats more cake, I can glimpse this household divided against itself that Jesus mentions. I also know that my physical body, through the five senses, tells my mind things that aren't true. "You can eat more chocolate cake, just watch." Or, "Hey, look, Cheryl, the sun is circling the earth." For me to acknowledge the deceptions of the human mind and body, I can conclude that a divine mind is the higher power. That term is used by Mary Baker Eddy and other thinkers. It is this divine infinite mind that is regarded in Christian Science mental treatment. Now, I don't treat divine mind as if something needs fixing, but I yield human mind to the inspired knowledge or truths and manifestations of this divine, all-present mind. I yield to a very powerful mind with the substance of goodness. So, what is Christian Science mental treatment? It is the acknowledgement of one spirit, alive and well. It is the acknowledgement of Christ's truth, manifest as truthfulness. It is the acknowledgement of us as individual images of spirit. It is the mental practice of using the tools of love, courage, spiritual willingness, and honesty to unsee that which is scary or unnatural. In other words, it's the practice of turning away from the human drama and seeking the truth of the one Creator in control, creating and maintaining balance, purpose, justice, health. Now, the tools of love, courage, spiritual willingness, and honesty aren't abstract. Although the news and internet tell us different, it's only the human mind that believes in abstraction and gets confused. Divine mind isn't confused, but is clear, pure, inspiring, vibrant, resonating, moving. The book, Science and Health, counsels readers who want to use Christian Science mental treatment. This includes everyone, me, pilots, taxi drivers, nurses, physicians, therapists, scientists. For example, within Science and Health, remarks are made to reinforce the fact that God will lead us to the proper use of prayer, exercise, drugs, discipline, and so on. Christian Science mental treatment is up against the human mind trying to make me a robot, telling me to just take a drug for healing. But I know that the human mind's direction can lead to drug abuse. I want better treatment. I want to do things properly, humanely. It is divine mind that quiets the noise in my head and lets me feel the stimulus that accepts thoughtful approaches to decision making, to finding a doctor who shares my holistic desires, and to the right use of medicine. Divine mind oftentimes points out the need for me to help a neighbor or forgive, say, a coworker who irked me, or my husband. He's always doing things wrong. Just kidding. He's actually a pretty great guy. Now, and this is important, the human mind would also make me a robot by telling me to pray for healing. But divine mind inspires action. I heard somewhere it's work, and pray. Probably from Mrs. Eddy. But you get the point. Prayer and meditation is useful, no doubt, but it can be deceptive. Mary Baker Eddy wrote in Science and Health that prayer can be dangerous. Not to do something makes hypocrites or narrow-mindedness. This also goes for repeating affirmations of truth. Affirmations of truth are also useful until they turn into repetitious feel-good or pious-looking nonsense. Affirmations in the long run don't feel good. I mean, really. Can you see God repeating itself? Saying the same thing over and over? No, absolutely not. It would be a God burying itself in human rituals or cliches. It would be a God insisting that the pill that worked yesterday will work today, which is not always true. We can unsee the false prayers and affirmations. We can unsee the falsehood that God's children are limited to human knowledge. Every day, we can expect new ideas, spiritual unlimited knowledge. We can expect less intrusive, more kind, more diplomatic knowledge. Christian Science mental treatment works with unlimited divine knowledge. Here's a piece of knowledge to work with. Soul is not and never has been inside a human body, trapped by birth, released by death. We are more than body and mind. I know it feels like I have my own soul, and Christ Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." But it also makes sense to me that Jesus had to use the limited human vocabulary to communicate the impact of his message. Jesus is talking about gentleness and lowliness of heart, humility toward spirit. He's treating spiritual truths as tools to use every day for deep rest. Jesus also said, And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. When I do that, in Christian Science mental treatment, I unsee many souls coming and going. I see one soul, call it God, and that understanding naturally substantiates my place in the creative, unafraid, healthy, agile, courageous, realistic, loving, one soul God. What is Christian Science mental treatment? It's living up to the standard of truth set by the reality of infinite good and its goodness in perpetuity, including us.